Hello everyone, this is G from PG Gaming. P will not be joining us this video for she is busy. She'll be, when she stops being busy, which people with lives, you know how it is, she'll start getting more content out. For now, you're going to have to stick with just me. Sorry, some of you enjoy it. Don't lie to yourselves. Today we'll be doing a gateway to nerddom. This is our second episode. We're covering Magic the Gathering. This is a game by Wizards of the Coast in which you play cards, pay lots of money to get more cards, and anyway, say you want to get into this game. You can't play alone because A, that's sad, and B, that's not how the game is played. This is not solitaire. You and potentially someone else is interested in the game. How do you get both of you into it? Well, actually, you buy pre-constructed decks. If you don't know what you're doing, I would suggest start with a pre-constructed deck. Most people call these precons. You can buy them at Walmart, GameStop, friendly local gaming stores. In this video, I'm going to try to keep things shorter. I'm also going to try not to get into the actual mechanics of how to play as much. If you know for sure you have one other person playing, I kind of recommend getting a dual deck. Dual decks are essentially it's two pre-constructed decks. They're either 30 or 60 cards, kind of like that trainer kit I showcased in either the unboxing or the last gateway to nerddom, where essentially it's set up for you and a friend to learn how to play. Find the rules, or you'll figure it out. It's not that hard. I'll go over it basically, so you get a general idea, and the rest of it is just kind of figuring out what specific cards do, to be honest. Magic the Gathering is simpler, but a little bit, well, not really simpler. It's got a lot more complexities. It's a lot more straightforward in a lot of ways. I think to keep in mind, specific beats vague. If you know the rules say something happens, but if a card says specifically under these circumstances, this happens, that happens. Keep that in mind. That will be important when you're playing. If a card breaks the rules, go with what the card says temporarily. The pre-constructed decks will come with a rule guide of some form. Some games, they come with basically a little fold-out pamphlet deal. Some games come with a little booklet. It depends on the game. I don't recall what this one comes with. In those rules, you'll learn what each of the little card abilities typically mean. You'll learn what You'll learn what all the phases are. I'm gonna cover them. I'm gonna cover those phases briefly. So, when you start, you figure out who's going first. Do this by any method: coin flip, die roll. Just generally agree. Okay, I'll go first this time. Then you draw 7 cards. That is your starting hand. You cannot have more than 7 cards at any given point in time. Again, unless another card says you can. They do exist. When you actually start playing, you have 20 life. You start with 20 life points. These can go up and down. Your goal, essentially, is to get the other players to 0. Or to make them draw out of cards in their deck. Or some other strange win condition. But generally, you want to reduce your opponent's life points to 0. That's kind of one of your main goals. Unless you can make them draw out of 60 cards really, really fast, which some decks can do. I'll go into that a little bit later. So, you draw. On your turn, you go into your draw phase first. You draw your card. Draw phase over. Some of these phases are very simple and straightforward, but they exist because certain cards say certain things happen at certain times. So they just very structure the turns, essentially. Your main phase are for playing cards. You may play any card you have the mana to cast, which mana and lands for a lot of people are relatively interchangeable. They actually are a little bit different. In actual play, they don't make much of a difference. If you have lands to play cards, you may play them. Then, once you've played all you want to play in the first main phase, you go into your combat phase where you say, these creatures, or this creature, or any amount of creatures you want to attack whatever target they have available, which is other players, because in this game you attack other players directly. Other players, player or players, will then declare blockers, meaning they'll take one of their creatures and say, this creature will block that creature, which under most circumstances, when the attack is negated, no damage is dealt to the player, but the cards do damage to each other. Now, each card on the bottom right corner will have 2 numbers. The number on the left is the damage that card does and the number on the right is the amount of damage that card can take. You must take all of that in a turn or a phase in order to be killed or removed from the battlefield and put into the graveyard. Some effects like trample, specifically trample, say that if the attacker does more damage than the defender can defend, the leftover damage, unless the creature that has trample is killed by the defender. So if the attacker survives the defense and dealt more damage than the defender could take, the damage left over is dealt to the intended target. It's complex, but it's very simple. Once you kind of get the hang of this game, a lot of it just makes sense. Then you move out of that into your second main phase, where you again can play cards, and then into your end phase, where you are ending your turn, and anything that triggers on your end phase triggers. Triggering mean that an effect that says in your end phase, that effect now goes off. It does its thing, and then your turn is over, and it moves on to the next. And it's that over and over until somebody wins. Once you're playing it, at first things will be a little confusing, and you have to like double check. I recommend for sportsmanship purposes, just watch, or not even sportsmanship, just watch everything. Pay close attention, especially at first, when you don't exactly know what all your stuff is. Always be watching, making sure, when you say, hey, I'm going, you don't necessarily declare, but it's like, okay, I'm drawing, it's my upkeep, what happens? You untap all your things, you watch, make sure your other player does all his things, or her things, or their things. Let's go with other person, other there. Anyway, that's playing. I just recommend be nice, be considerate, watch, pay attention. Expanding your collection is simple. You just buy packs, more pre-constructed decks, and combine them because you like to. Buy cards, say, ooh, this looks good in my deck. I recommend, just because this is something I do, sleeves and deck boxes. Find them, the Ultra Pro little plastic deck boxes. They hold about... they hold mini cards. They hold enough cards when they're all sleeved. Sleeves are nice. They can be fancy. They don't have to be. Some of them have little fancy designs on the back. There's a lot that are just colored. If you're gonna get sleeves, go find your local gaming store. They have a great selection of sleeves, pretty much always. I've not been the one that hasn't. They'll have some that are fancy designs. They'll have some that are just plain colors. They sometimes have some that are supposed to be really high quality, but they're like $10 a pack of 100. And I just haven't had any cards that I value high enough to buy a $10 pack of sleeves. Usually like $3 for a pack of sleeves, $3 for a deck box. I'm happy. Comes in packs of 50 generally. Be aware there are two different sizes of sleeves, as there are two different sizes of cards. Magic the Gathering and Pokemon use one size they have a standard size, and then Yu-Gi-Oh cards and a few others have a smaller size. So be aware and make sure you know what size sleeve you're buying. Well guys, this has been another gateway to nerddom. And as always, have a nice day. We'll be on the lookout for more of our videos. I'll be recording and posting some shortly. Sorry we've been a little bit behind. I said to have a nice day kind of early because I forgot to throw these things on the end. But I'll be making more videos shortly, and I'll be trying to make sure they get more out on a regular basis. If there's anything you'd like to see, as in a better setup or certain types of videos, just say so in the comments or send us a message or a tweet or something. We're on Twitter at PSGS Gaming. So send us a message, send us a tweet, comment the videos. We'll be looking, especially for a few days after the video is posted. And I've been getting rather... I like to look at the analytics. Anyway, I'm a nerd. This is things I do when I'm bored. Just want to keep up if you want to keep up to date on what we're putting out, subscribe, like, and subscribe. And maybe send us a message saying, hey, I like what you're doing. Or, yeah, anything like that. Anything will be appreciated. And as always, have a nice day.